video. Today I'm going to share with you the 10 mindset shifts that have increased my productivity and success. These are so important. It's crazy how a simple mindset shift can make huge results happen. And so I just want to share you guys these just in case maybe you haven't thought of it, maybe this is what's holding you back, maybe you're struggling with one or some or all of these and you need a little bit of support, because I'm here for you. I know it's so hard because changing a mindset is like changing a habit. It's the same thing, really. What's the saying? It's like it takes 21 days to make or break a habit. Is it? Or is it 31? I don't know, bro. It's hard. It's a long time. It's not something that's really easy to do. So anyway, let's get started with the 10 mindsets that I have implemented in order to increase productivity and success. And I'm not perfect at these, obviously. I don't think anyone's perfect at these. It's just a constant reminder on how to think and how to go about your life in a better way. So let's begin. Look at this. This is my little notepad paper. That's crazy. This piece of paper documents exactly what I'm like. Ripped around the edges, not perfect, kind of scribbled all over. Anyway, so number one, this is the biggest one of them all in my opinion. It is to get into an action mindset instead of a planning mindset. For example, it is so much more exciting and fun to plan out how you're going to study, when you're going to study, when you're going to go to class. You know, you get out your agenda and it's like, okay, I'm going to study starting at 5 p.m. and I'm going to study till 7 and then I'm going to eat dinner. You know, it's so fun to like plan your day out and to plan your projects. Another example is like, okay, maybe you're planning to start a garden, but all you're doing is planning on what seeds you're going to get, what tools you're going to get, and you're not actually going out and starting the garden itself. It's scary to take action because this is going to lead to another point, but perfection is what we all want and it's not about perfection. At least for me, I don't want to take action because I'm like, okay, now I really have to do the thing. Know what I mean? And I like things to be perfect and that's just unrealistic and it doesn't have to be perfect to be good. And so getting into like, let's just do it is going to free up so much time. It's going to give you momentum to keep going, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So for me, it's been doing YouTube because every time in the past, I have been so set on, okay, I'm going to plan out these videos and I'm going to plan what time again, plan exactly what I'm going to say. And that just never worked. I had to just take action, sit down, start the camera and start the YouTube video because that's the only way I would get it done and actually start posting consistently on YouTube. So start just doing it. Stop planning so much because you waste so much time planning. Of course, some planning is necessary to do pretty much everything, but I'm just saying decrease the unnecessary parts and just start. Okay, number two, this is a very specific one, but it has changed my entire mindset around this. And it's been really good for me because I've struggled with this in the past. And that is to see exercise as a bonus instead of a have to, which is kind of backwards. I know everyone's like, you have to exercise to be healthy, which is true. You should move every day in some way. But instead of being like, okay, I have to do this entire thing, max it out, it's been a lot more helpful to me to be like, okay, this is good for me, so it's just going to add to my health. It's a bonus in my day. I don't have to be perfect at it. So when I just realized, okay, I just have to do something. I don't have to finish this entire thing if I feel awful. I just give myself permission to not have to do every single set, every single rep if I'm feeling actually terrible. And that's just helped me so much in just starting and doing it and being done with it. So it's a time management kind of thing, but it's also, it helps me go into the workout with a positive mindset. Each little thing I do is just a bonus. It's a good thing. It's not like, okay, if I forget to do one set, then the entire workout is not good anymore. You know, I used to be super perfectionistic about it and just had to do everything I said I was gonna do, and that was just not helpful. So yeah, I don't know if anyone else is like that, but I guess I was a little crazy. Number three is understanding that success happens over time. It's so easy to see successful people now. It's like the tip of the iceberg thing. It's easy to see the success people have now, but we never see all what they did before to get them up here. And so it can be really discouraging when you think they just like got there like that, or got there in a few months, a year, whatever. But no, it probably took them months or years or even decades to get where they are now. So whoever your successful idol is, or whoever you look up to for success, remember that they had to put a lot of time and energy into that success. If success were quick and easy, then everyone would be successful right now. So just remember, try not to get discouraged when you're like, oh, this is taking forever, because you're probably right on time or even ahead, who knows. Number four, okay, I've been saying this already, but consistency is always better than perfection, because number one, you'll never reach perfection. And number two, consistency is going to end up making you a little bit better each time in some way or some form. And of course, nothing's linear. It's going to be kind of like this, but the overall trend, you're going to get better and better at whatever it is. Like YouTube, for example, just get started, right? Action instead of planning, and then be consistent consistent with it. You don't have to have the best quality or the best editing or anything like that. As you go on, you're gonna learn with practice and it's gonna be great. Consistency will always drive more results than perfection. That's it. This is the same with exercise too, by the way. If you're consistent with your workouts instead of perfect, like doing the perfect workouts every time, well, because you're not gonna do perfect workouts every time. That's the whole idea. It's kind of like the tortoise and the hare story where the slow and steady wins the race instead of like the fast rabbit who you would think would win every time because they're perfect for the race. No, it's about being consistent. So I hope that makes sense. That sounded really rambly, but you know. Okay, number 5, nothing truly great comes without hard work. So what I'm saying here is if it were easy, everyone would be successful. If you get discouraged by how much work and energy and time and even money you're putting into whatever you're trying to achieve, remember that you've already come this far. I mean, hard work is gonna get you somewhere. And sometimes it's not about hard work, it's about smart work. So if you're feeling burnt out or something, resting is better than quitting. So just take a little break, take a breather, and remember, hard work will get you great results. Hard and smart work. Be smart about it. Number 6, everyone is just like you, meaning everyone gets stressed, tired, and overwhelmed with whatever they're doing. And also people get nervous about stuff. And so maybe someone looks super successful and productive and awesome all the time, but no, that's not true. Everyone has their moments, and if you feel like, okay, why am I so tired and overwhelmed and burnt out like no one else is? That's not true. People are. It's just easy to hide. So don't think you can't achieve what you're trying to achieve because you feel like that. Just take it as a sign that maybe you need to rest or back off a little bit for a second. And that's easier said than done, especially with things like school and work with deadlines and stuff, or like intense fitness events. Just hopefully it makes you feel less alone is the thing. Number 7, you don't have to do everything at once. And you probably shouldn't, because that means you're putting not all of your energy into one thing, which means you're kind of just having an average output into everything you're trying to achieve. And so that's also easier said than done. But I guess what I mean is if you want to eventually make your side hustles into your main hustle, for example, you probably don't want to have your full-time job and then work on 2 or 3 side hustles after work, because then you're only putting like 50% or 33% of your energy into each one instead of 100% of your energy into one. So first, I would just recommend building up that one side hustle until it starts generating income or doing whatever you want it to do. And then once you have that going, start on the next thing, things like that. Also, one of my professors in college used to say like, yeah, you don't have to do everything at once. She would always say like, maybe you're a full-time student, full-time worker, but you also want to babysit, but you also want to be involved in your church camp, but you also want to do this sport or whatever. She was saying, don't feel like you have to do everything at once. Do one thing at a time if you can. Stick with one thing for a while and do the next thing you want to do. Even with hobbies, I know people have a lot of interests and it's hard to stick with just one thing. Same thing with the side hustle, same thing if you want to start a business and you have like several business ideas, you want to just stick with one for now and then move on once that one gets going. It's hard, I know, because you want to do everything and it's so exciting, especially if you're kind of a workaholic and you like to stay busy. It's easy to get burnt out fast and just discouraged on all your ideas if you realize, oh my gosh, this is a lot I'm taking on. So just stick with one thing, see if you can manage it. If you think you can take on another thing, then do it. But that's just my advice, is to do one thing at a time. This is an interesting one, but number 8 is finding fulfillment in experiences instead of material items. I used to be super materialistic as a kid, which is kind of interesting. Like I always wanted a different toy, or like I always wanted a different lip balm. But when I got older, I was like, you know, I always just want something else after I get what I wanted a second ago. And that's probably a problem with a ton of people, because especially in America where everything is so materialistic, I just really don't care about it anymore. It's crazy how much I've just shifted. I mean, it's nice to have nice things, and I do like nice things obviously, but I would much rather spend money on experiences like food, going out, doing things, instead of like saving up for a watch or something, you know what I mean? And nothing wrong with that if that's just truly what gives you most fulfillment and happiness. Or there's a balance to it too. You can buy nice things and do experiential stuff. Experiences? I don't even know what I said. But this was just kind of a little money saving hack, because you might not realize like, oh, I really do enjoy going out with my friends more than I enjoy buying clothes all the time. I don't know. It helps me save money because I'm like, I don't need that. I don't want that. So let's move on. I'm also really motivated by the idea of financial freedom in the future. And so the idea of foregoing some of the nicer luxury materialistic items is not too hard for me, because I know I value my time and energy and ability to do things more than items. I feel like I've said the same thing like over and over and over. I probably have. Okay, number 9, we're getting close to the end. 9. You are not bound by societal standards. So a lot of people have an idea in their head, maybe because of their families or parents or society itself, that they have to fit into a specific mold in life. And maybe that mold is stressing them out, and that's totally not who they are at all. And a lot of people figure this out after high school, I think. You know, you're in high school and you think you want to do a certain career, you get out in college or in the real world, and then you're like, wow, this is not what I was expecting at all. A pivot completely happens, and now you're doing something you had no idea you were gonna do. Or after college, this could happen after college, and you're like, wow, I had no idea this industry was like this. So this is kind of like a midlife crisis moment. I just want to let you know before you have a crisis that you're not bound by societal standards. And if you are in school to be a lawyer, for example, but you actually want to be a tattoo artist, then what the heck? Do it. I mean, there's a market for that. Or if you just want to do something crazy, you know, save up all your money to invest into your business idea, then that is your choice, your decision. That is not something that society should tell you, oh, that's a bad idea. That is risky. Of course it's risky, but like, you're going into it knowing all of these things, and why not take a chance? You only have one life and one time to do these things. So what the heck? You will never know if you don't try, really. So if you have this grand idea that doesn't fit into societal standards, because there are a lot of societal standards that we are just used to at this point, and that's not necessarily how it should be, then try it out. I'm serious, because there's a lot of things that are not perfect in this world, in this country, whatever. Maybe you can be the shift. You can do something that other people won't do because they just feel like they're stuck. And I hate feeling stuck. There are certain things in place for a reason, like rules and laws and stuff, but I'm just talking about career-wise, interest-wise. There's not a one or few right ways to do things. You know what I mean? I hope this is making sense. Okay, and the last one, number 10, is that life is just a big game, and the objective is for all of us to just try to be as happy as we can be in it. I don't know about you, but I get wrapped up in the hard work and the structure and just forget to have fun and be happy sometimes, because what we're doing the hard work for is to be satisfied and happy and comfortable in our lives, right? Because that's a main reason everybody works or goes to school, is to be able to provide for themselves and find comfort and happiness and fulfillment. Whether that's inside or outside of your job, it doesn't matter. The whole purpose of that job is to make you feel better in some way, right? Whether that's financially, or maybe you're working towards a cause that you care about. So it's just really easy to get wrapped up in the things that aren't all that important. Maybe you're stressed out about this paperwork you need to do for your job. I recommend you take a step back and just chill out. It's okay, because life is just a big game, really. Imagine if we took away all the careers, all the big buildings and stuff, and now what? Now we're just living to, well, survive, and living for fulfillment, happiness, joy. Like, that's what we're here for. So I just recommend to view life in the big picture instead of being narrow about it and just focusing on like, oh my gosh, this class is my entire life, or my work is my entire life. Like, no, you're supposed to have a good time in life, silly goose. Anyway, I hope this was insightful and this made sense. These mindset shifts are supposed to make you more productive, successful, and ultimately happy. I hope I shed some insight on some of these things and that you can implement them into your own life. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like self-improvement, lifestyle, finance content. Leave me a comment about any mindset shifts that have really helped you. I will see you in the next video.